So, I've been meaning to make a video, about, yoga and why I do it and the amount of time I take to go out of my way for, relaxing in the hot shower or a steam room or, stretching, and getting the bad toxins out. And, I was kind of forced to do this, when I gained all that weight, eating all that junk food, and, coming home from prison, no one was cooking for me, I was living out of a motel, and it was a really, it was back to fast lifestyle, The life I was living in prison, I was able to move slow, process things and think things through, and, when I came home, everything was fine, for the first, half a year, almost a year, a little over, and so things started really getting hard for me, because of everyone else, on the fast pace, and the bullshit, and women, definitely women. There's something about American women, man, they're just terrible, man. I don't know what it is about them. I do know what it is, why it happened, which I'm going to explain, that's kind of part of my book, I don't want to tell you the name of it yet, but, it talks about, culture and the effects of it and how it plays a part on people's psyche, and, because that's who I am. I'm very analytical, that's the type of stuff I speak about and, I write about, and that's why I build things and, I invent things and make things, to make my life easier or better for myself, or quicker or whatever it is, it may be. It doesn't matter, I wasn't going to make a video tonight, but, I have to make videos, first of all. I gotta make videos. But everything's freehand right now. I'm editing stuff, like places I've been, places I go. I gotta put it all together still. I was thinking of a place to go still, take you guys, and the more I think about it, I want to take you guys to a place I'm familiar, kinda. Well, I am really familiar with this place, actually. But I wanted to take you to a place that has history, like if you come here to Michigan, Detroit, my hometown, I really want you guys to, appreciate this place, and what it has to offer. So, I'm going to bring you guys to Henry Ford Museum, Greenfield Village. And there's three main reasons why, really. The main reason is, it's in the area that I grew up in, and it's, it's part of Detroit, it's part of Michigan, and it has a lot of road history too, if it wasn't for Henry Ford and the cars, I wouldn't be in the car, lifestyle, that I like, all the fast cars, and, so that part right there, and, the second part is, the history, too, and not only the history about what's there, from every, presidents, and, inventors, like Thomas Edison, people that I look up to, like I idolize, but I have history there as well myself. Not only, did I go there with Margarita, which I was invited there actually, to go with her by her family that she was working for when I met her. And they brought their kids up there all the time because, they had a pass. I mean, they had a year subscription, they could go there. And whenever they wanted, and, the kids could run around, and the family that she worked for, even though they used her, I liked them, I liked their dad. And I liked the mom, but, the mom, I didn't like her like that, I love Margarita. But, she did some slimeball shit, man, the shit she would do in front of Margarita. And because of Margarita, she's learning the language, she didn't pick up right on it right away. And she would have. I'm telling you, Margarita, she's on point, man. That woman's smart. That's why I like her, she keeps me on my toes, and she's very analytical like me, and she's always... she does things for the right reasons, and that's why I'm going down there to see her. I gotta get the boat ready for us, and she's still on the contract, and it makes more sense if I go out there and get the stuff going already, That way when she's off, I can have her, she can help, you know what I mean? She can, because I'm going to need help, and she can, help fix up the boat, paint stuff if things need to be painted, I need help figuring how, where to put stuff, and, where's the best place to sleep, and, if I'm chartering the boat, I gotta make sure the sleeping quarters are well taken care of, and it's not moldy or musty, because every boat, a lot of times I've been getting on boats, man, but, because I'm searching for, sorry, I drink a lot of apple juice. I'm burping, so it's like coming up, because I drank a little too much. I was a little dehydrated today from riding. But all these boats, man, they're musty. They've been sitting on the water, some of them, for a long period of time. And these people, they're not taking care of them, and and they can't be like that. I can't have it. It's not who I am. First of all, I'm a clean person. Second of all, I'm organized and. I need people to hand me money, a lot of money. They gotta trust me, they believe, and come back as well, and I want them to have a good experience. And, this boat isn't gonna be very big, so, the nicer it is, the better. Business-wise, and for us too, we're going to be stuck on the boat for a long period of time until we get to the destination we're going to. And, if we're not happy about where we're, what we're in or where we're at, it's not going to be enjoyable. We're going to bicker and argue. And that's not going to help the relationship, What's the point of, spending all this money and doing all this, and doing this together if that's the way it's going to end up being, So that's why I'm going down there kind of by myself first, to get a hang of it and learn a lot of the stuff, you know what I mean? That way when she comes down there, or, she's done with her contract, whatever, I already somewhat know what to do, and you know what I mean? It's not a burden for her, you know what I mean? Because I can show her how to do the stuff, and I'm not irritated with her because she's making a mistake, you know what I mean? And so that's really important to me to get down there and, and get this stuff going. And It's not that easy. It really isn't. It's really hard finding a boat for less than 50 grand. It's really hard, man. And then I gotta live off of 20 grand and make it down to Florida and, record all this stuff. And 20 grand isn't a lot of money when you're traveling, man. It's not. It's really not. I got over 70 grand saved up, and that money is. I worked hard for that money, I almost killed myself, for that money, working at Ferris and, all these other places, and then all the hustling, from the cars on the side and computer work and, studying, writing programming, and, and then working too and not getting paid for it, all this stuff takes a toll on me, man, and it's exhausting. That's why I'm always in the shower, dude. You got to, man. You gotta take time for yourself. That was one thing I didn't do before back then in my 20s, man. I never took time for myself. I never. Go, fucking Energizer Bunny, and I'm still like that. I'm fucking tired. It's 12:30 at night, and I couldn't sleep. I just laid there. My legs were cramping up because all this riding, not drinking enough water, you gotta drink that stuff when you're riding. Sometimes it's not as easy as people think, We all know it. People complain all the time, I need to drink more water, I need to drink more water, I need to drink more water. And I do too, but it's hard to do. I get my water down in the shower because of the heat. The house I bought, it was really imperative for me to be able to take hot, long showers. I like them, and I like to lay in the shower and, like this, and let it run, and let it run over me, and then let it fill up. And once it fills up, I'll shut it off and lay in the bath, until it starts getting cold. That's the best way to do it too, because, you save money that way. I got a little plug, well, this one I don't have a plug. I just got a little freaking one of those kid play balls. I got a bunch of them. They were at this house when I moved in. There was a couple things at this house. It was, I don't know, somebody left the stuff behind in the garage. Bunch of Christmas stuff. And just, I don't know, like gift wrapping stuff, like birthday present stuff, like birthday bags and stuff. I actually have this stuff still, because it was like brand new stuff, and like, this stuff cost kind of a lot of money, it was like $50 worth of just like birthday wrap stuff, it says happy birthday and like Christmas, gift wrap, and that type of stuff, so I kept it. Why not? I like that stuff, and I buy it every year, so now I don't have to buy it this year. So I was like, cool, right? But yeah, I drink a lot of water, dude, like in the shower. It quenches my thirst, and it forces me to drink more water. That's why I do it too, I take these long showers. I gotta do them at night, and I do them more at night than in the morning. In the morning, I do it, but sometimes you can't, and I'm gonna be on the boat, and, first thing in the morning, I'm gonna have to get right up, and just take a hop in the shower, rinse off, if I'm dirty, or, and get right to it. So, but I gotta, go get more water. But I'm gonna be making these videos on the stretching and like the proper yoga. Because I watch these videos on yoga and stuff on YouTube and the internet, and they're really good, and a lot of them I want to recommend to people as well, but they also, they're missing stuff that, I've learned over the years, because of who I am and what I've been through, and not, and kind of the drug addiction that I had, it kind of plays a part in how I found this out with my body, and, so if I wouldn't have been addicted to drugs, in the same essence, I'm not telling everybody they gotta go get addicted to drugs. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is God used, the situation, and because I've had interest in that, and I had a passion for it, Jesus, God, was, he gives you inspiration and he gives you insight, and when you talk to him about it, he's just like a friend, when you talk to him. That's exactly what it is, man. And he doesn't talk to you back in words, A lot of people think like God talks to you in words, and he doesn't. He talks to you through people and your situations, and he wants you to use your conscience, He gave it to you for a reason, He needs you for a purpose, for the future, and people don't get that. So I talk about it a lot, and the stretching I do, I think I almost forgot the topic I was gonna top on. I'm tired, man. But I stretch late at night. And I do my prayers late at night. That's why I'm doing the video late at night. On the boat, I gotta continue to do this stuff, This is how I have all this energy, and how I make it through, the day, riding all day, and I gotta be able to stay fit and do all this stuff on the boat, and I gotta be able to lift somebody, twice my size maybe, you know what I mean? If in a desperate situation, if I'm not working out and stuff, I'm not gonna be able to do those things, and it could put me in a position, where I could die because I'm gonna be in the water, and it's scary to go across the ocean. You think that stuff doesn't scare me? It does. Um, it does. Storms ain't no joke, and the more I've been studying, I'm like, if I get caught out there, I'm done. I'm cooked, I'm going to the bottom of the ocean. Who wants that? And I don't want that happening with my wife, my fiance, whoever's on board. That's terrible, man. It's just, I don't want to do that. So that's why, I've been training so hard, and doing all these things, But I just went and grabbed the water. I gotta get it down. And I drink I drink a lot of apple juice. I find apple juice is easier for me to get down, but it also makes me nauseous when I drink a lot of it, more than water for some reason. Anything like that for some reason. And I know what it is, it's all the abuse from me in my 20s, all the pills and, the bad diet, and when I was in Oakland County, and when I came home from prison, I had to go back to the county, which was rough, man. Because in prison, people are respectful for the most part, because they gotta live there for a long period of time, and they don't play around, the boys, the people, they know they do something stupid, you know, and they're gonna get fucked up. You know what I mean? Because it's just how it is, you know. But in the county, you know, you got all those people that come from the streets all strung out still, you know, and so was I too, you know, not when I came back, you know, but, you know, and it's just terrible. And people, not only that too, you know, you got all the gangbangers, you know, in there, and, you know, they prey on people, you know, and then you got, you know, white boy me, you know what I mean, that's grew up in the neighborhood, you know, that's like that, you know, and people, you know, they don't, you know, they look at somebody and they assume and they would judge, you know, and try to, um, you know, fuck with me or, they would try to, you know, steal my shine, you know, and make me, or not even steal my shine, you know, I wouldn't even be doing anything, you know, they would just, you know, try to make fun of me, you know, in front of the nurse, or because the nurse was hot, you know, that did her rounds every day, you know, for the medication, you know, that type of stuff. Just stupid shit, you know, and I wasn't having it, man. You know, I wasn't having it. Especially my coming home from prison, the third time in prison, and coming into the county, you know, I wasn't having it, bro, and it was kind of fucking things up for me in Oakland County, man. I was ending up in a lot of fights, and Oakland County is kind of funny because it's like the Taj Mahal, man, when it comes to county jails. I swear it is. It's the most nicest jail I've ever been in. Um, it is. It is. It's the nicest jail I've ever been in. It's the nicest staff I've ever been in. Um, and it's the only. I'll tell you this too. It's the only place I've ever been, and I've been locked up a lot of times, man. I've been a lot of places, bro. It's the only place where the officers run that bitch. Every other place I've been to, the prisoners run it, the inmates run it, you know, the people in trouble, they run it, you know, and it's run down. That's why it's run down, you know, the places are run down, you know, but Oakland County, man, them boys don't play. They don't. They really don't. And that's why it's nice, you know, and it's ran like a military in there, and that's why it is like that. But it also, you know, it was kind of nice though. It was, you know, it's tough in there though, because you got all the people. See, I'm from Detroit, you know, and people from Detroit, they, it's hard times where we're from, you know. We don't have much, you know. We learn to live without much, and people in Oakland County, they have a lot more money, average wise, you know. I'm not saying they're all, you know, got money, but, you know, if you're living in Pontiac, Michigan, 9 times out of 10, you're a little bit better off than the person that's living in Detroit. Period. I don't care what anybody says. And because of that, you know, you get all these young kids coming in from Pontiac, you know, that I was in Oakland County, and I did a lot of time, you know. I got a lot of wisdom, you know, from the OGs, you know, and pulling me to the side, like, what the fuck you doing in prison, man, you know. I'm here my whole life, you know. Go home, you know. I'm tired of seeing you coming back, you know. That type of stuff. And you know, you see all these kids coming in there, and they're talking, you know, I can't wait to go back home and, you know, serve fiends and serve this and that, and, you know, and I've been on both sides, man. You know, I've sold drugs, you know, and I've done drugs, and, I went home. I was coming home already, you know, and I'd spent all this time, you know, with Jesus, and, you know, meditation, and studying, and, you know, I was already intelligent before I was getting locked, you know, I got locked up, you know. I didn't start getting in trouble till my late 20s, you know. I just didn't get caught in my early 20s, and, teenage years, you know, and the reason why is because I was more, you know, when I got older, all the stuff, I didn't care. I knew what I was doing, you know, but I didn't care. I was just so run down from the world, and I justified it, you know what I mean? Like, fuck it, I'm doing this, fuck the world, you know, fuck it, you know, fuck it, you know, that's just how it is, and, you know, fuck it, if I die, fuck it, whatever, you know, that's just how I am, man, or was, and it's not, and when I seen this, you know, in these counties, in the county, Oakland County, it caused me problems, because I would preach to the people, you know, and teach, you know, and people, I don't like preaching, I don't. I like teaching. There's a difference. There really is. And the difference is, there's the intention behind it. You know, I want people to experience what I experienced from Jesus, reading the Bible, and, you know, falling in love with what he has done, and, you know, the things that he has shown people how to do it and what to do. And without that, I wouldn't know the stuff I know. So I tell people, you know, when it feels good for me to tell people, and, you know, it get me in a lot of fights, man, you know, people I care about too, you know, like people that liked me, you know, and I liked them, you know, and they would always ask me, you know, you gotta remember, you know, I was already in the joint for a long time, man. I knew how to move, I knew how to save money, I knew how to hustle, you know, and I was forcing a lot of that stuff too, you know, and in prison too. So when you know, in the county, when I come home, you know, people looked up to me in a sense, you know what I mean? Because they seen how I lived, you know, in the jail, and the officers respected me because they didn't have to watch me, you know. They knew that they weren't gonna have a problem with me, you know. I do whatever, you know. I obeyed rules, you know. I did what I had to do, you know, and I didn't cause problems. And they also knew that, you know, if something did happen, that it would get handled, and it would get handled correctly. You know, and there ain't no snitching going on. If you snitch, it's not, you know, it's on you. You know, you're getting out the unit. You ain't moving me. That's not gonna happen. You know, and I'll go out of my way, and I'll go out of my way and get people knocked off. You know what I mean? Out of my cell, man. If you're sitting there, right, and you're pressing my time, you're constantly bickering and stealing my stuff, or you know what I mean, or you're funky, you're not washing your ass, yeah, you're not staying in my cell, let alone yard, if you're fucking stealing. That's why the boys say, you know, they test you when you come out of the yard, you know, they say you're gonna work, you know, they want to see who you are, you know, because them boys, they know, you know. And a lot of them sucks because they fall in love with Jesus, right? But they're doing hard time. They can't come home, so they got all that time contemplating, and they, you know, they don't do anything anymore, you know, and they spend all that time in there, you know, miserable. It sucks. You know, well, they're not miserable because they have Jesus, but, you know, they still have pain because of it. You know, and that's a lot of the people I looked for and hung out with when I was in there. It was because they moved slow. They moved slow. You know, and they had something I wanted. The light. I could see it. You know, I knew they had something that I wanted, and they kept on handing me the Bible, man. And what's funny too is you know, there are a lot of Muslims in there too. You know, I grew up in Dearborn, you know, and the Quran. I've read the Quran many times. There's a lot of things in the Quran that I've read that I believe that are true. But if you do a really historical study, and people have, which I've read books about it, You know, when I say this, people are gonna be really hypocritical, you know, they're gonna say they're opinionated, you know, especially people that believe in Prophet Muhammad. But it clearly says, you know, and you know, a lot of studies clearly say, you know, that they can prove when the Quran was, you know, made, and you know, and who made it, and you know, along with the Bible, they can prove, you know, when they started printing that stuff, you know, they can date it, you know, for the most part, and you know, they can put an estimate on it, you know, and that has value because you know, Prophet Muhammad was around in the same time as Jesus was, and you know, he wanted to be a prophet, and he wasn't. So maybe he was, you know. The reason why I think he was and wasn't, you know, I believe he was, and I believe he wasn't. The reason why, this is why I say this. Because I've been born in the Spirit. And you know when you know. And, you know, just times when I get, you know, evil tempts me, you know, he tempts me. And, you know, if I give in to it, you know, God doesn't like that. You know, and if you're not listening to him to do something, you're grieving the Holy Spirit. And the Bible says that, you know, don't grieve the Spirit. It says it's the worst sin in the world to do, and that makes sense. Once you've been born of the Spirit, the grace and knowledge that, you know, he gives you, you know, and that fire he rekindles in your heart. And what I really believe happened, because I read a book, you know, and it said that Prophet Muhammad was, you know, around in the same time as Jesus, and you know, they had all those trading routes that would come up through Africa, you know, in the Middle East, and all the scripture was being passed around, you know, on paper, and also bones, because in the desert, paper, you know, it doesn't last very long, you know, it's dry, you know, but the, you know, sand, you know, and the environment, it's a harsh environment. So they would inscribe the scripture on these bones, you know, and they would tie them together, you know, and, you know, like in series, you know, in order, and they would, you know, keep them, you know, on the camels and move around, you know, and so he was getting, you know, scripture, and he, you know, people would alter the scripture, man. People, you know, they didn't have the Bibles back then. They didn't have a print, you know what I mean? They were just going by with whatever was being said, you know, from the person that spoke from Jesus or heard something that was spoken by Jesus, you know, word of mouth type thing. And, you know, and people twist things and all that stuff. And I believe, you know, you can be born of the Spirit before you even know Jesus, you know, and or hear his words. And I say that because kids, you know, they don't have a conscience yet, you know, and until they know right from wrong, they go to heavens. They go to the heavens. They do. It's just fact. And, you know, a person that doesn't read the Bible or has never read the Bible, you know, the Bible clearly says that God has instilled the commandments in our heart. We know right from wrong, but evil just tempts us. So that person that hasn't read the Bible is still saved if they don't do any wrong and believe in the spirit of love. Because God is the spirit of love. That's why I said God is love. He isn't just God. You know what I mean? He is love. So you gotta put that in, you know, retrospect, you know, in perspective. And people don't. They don't. And it frustrates me. It fucking frustrates me, man. Because I haven't had nobody fucking talk to about it. Everybody's so fucking... No, like, I had people to talk to, you know, but we never get that far, you know. There's only very few, you know, and I really appreciate those talks and those people. I do. I want to go back in the water, man, but sometimes I do this a lot.
I'll get out of the shower, like the bath from stretching, and I put the Epsom salt in there a lot because it, relieves the muscles, my shit was cramping up. But when I do that, it dries out my skin. And now that I'm out of the shower or the bath, my skin feels really dry and tight. And I didn't finish stretching yet. The part of my routine. And I gotta do it, and I don't want to go back in there because my skin kind of hurts. And I gotta put lotion on, and that's tough. Because shit burns sometimes, all that other stuff. And it's hard to find a good lotion too. When I was in Oakland County, they didn't have sunlight. You were in the county for long periods of time. And I got a job in the kitchen, and it fucked my stomach up. The reason why I fucked my stomach up is because those boots, we were forced to wear these boots, man. And they were rubber, waders, the stuff you put your feet in to go fishing, kind of, or, to walk in, just, they're water resistant, oil resistant boots that came up to your knee. And they were so uncomfortable, man. They didn't ever have your size. They didn't have any padding underneath, and the inserts, the officer, some of the officers would go out of their way and bring inserts for us, but they were spending, some of them would spend their own money. They would, and bring them in for us, but they fucked my feet up bad, and I was running the kettles in Oakland County. I was getting into fights and stuff, and all that, and I was coming home. I came home from the prison, and COVID hit, and nobody in Oakland County wanted, no prisoner, no inmate wanted, nobody was cooking. They all went on strike, and nobody was cooking, bro. So fucking all the officers got forced to cook, and they were just making us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and fucking these weird ass dinners and shit. And so the prisoners were like, fuck, we're tired of this, we went on strike because we don't want to cook, catch COVID, work next to each other, but we also don't want to eat like shit now, and the officers, they don't want to fucking make food, for 1,000 prisoners. Oakland County holds about 1,300 people usually, around there, 1,200 people at all times, roughly. More during the winter, because bums, they get in trouble just to come in to get warm, and 3 meals and somewhere to sleep, so they don't die. They'll literally commit a misdemeanor to go in there. I'm serious. They know this. It's what they do. But so what happened is, all the inmates were, coming in and, getting the job again, but not as much, and they needed people. So they started, they never used to do this, they were allowing prisoners, people that were on parole, or people that were fighting sentences to cook, and they were actually paying us on the side, which was another weird thing. That was kind of cool, man. They were actually giving us fucking $20 a week in food and commissary, which, if you think about it, that's pretty good, especially for people that are coming off the street that don't have nobody, because they burn all their bridges, and they don't have nothing, and they see everybody else that has help, it's discouraging, and so, by them working and, them getting extra, they're able to get coffee or toothpaste, or deodorant, because the places, they don't provide you with that stuff. Like if you go to prison and you don't have money and you're not working in there, which they have jobs, but you're not working in there, you gotta fill out for an indigent, and an indigent pack, and then you're getting, they charge you, they put your account in negative, because they gotta give it to you, but it's shit, it's nasty ass shit, it's not anything good, ever. The only thing that you get good out of that is the comb, so that's the only time I ever filled one out is if I needed a comb for my hair, or for a comb for other things. I use the comb, in prison you can take the comb, and you break off the little pieces and you put them in your ears for your, in your ears so they don't close up, or to look good, It's nice to put stuff in your, I got both of my ears pierced, So, yeah. But it's crazy, I got a job in there and my feet fucking hurt so bad. I was eating ibuprofen like candy, man. Because we were working 2 days at a time, and then the third day we'd get off. And the reason why they did it like that is they had 3 shifts. So they had 3 separate kitchens, units that would run the kitchen. That way, if COVID, was ever like anybody complained they were sick and had COVID or anything like that, they would go in, that crew would get pulled out, they would go in, disinfect it, the next crew would come in, and then they would start preparing food, and then if, they would have a backup waiting. So that's how they did it, and it became a problem too, because people didn't want to work, and people wanted to get free food, and play the system, and you know how people are, or they didn't want to work the last day before they go home. And, they knew that if they did this, they didn't have to work, so it was stupid, man. They would, like the day right before they go home, they would act like they're sick. I don't feel good. That type of stuff. So then the day that I got off, I gotta fucking work. They pull us in, like, you're coming in to work. Like, bro, like, we just fucking cooked for hours, for 1,000 people. I'm tired as fuck, and you want me to, I just worked fucking 12 hours, you want me to come back in now? Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to work. Well, then pack up your shit, go to another cell, Fuck it, I'm working, Because you had access to stuff, I had access to real food. In Oakland County, that was another thing too they did for us. So they were making the food, separate food they bought. So Aramark was the place that ran it, the contract. The Aramark workers, there was an officer in the kitchen, but, I worked with real people on the street, coming off the street, women, and I ain't gonna lie, they like me. I like them. Let's leave it at that. And I'm in the kitchen, cooking. Big black women. Yeah. You put the two together, And, hood women, little tiny thing came in there, man. Little hood girl, she was from the hood. She grew up in the hood, Detroit. A little older, classy, a little rough around the edges, smoke weed, but she dinged me, so we hit it, we kicked it up, we hit it, we hit it off, and I was there for a while, so I was in the cooler, I took, it was nice. It was nice. But, it was all the stressful too, and another thing too, one of the kids that his name was Al, man, and he was a meth head, and I cared about him, man. He was like, he reminded me of my little brother. That's why I, looked out for him all the time, and he was so funny as hell, man. The kid was funny as fuck. But he had psychological problems, man. He was touched as a kid, man. You can tell. Because he always talked about touching children, making jokes about it. And or like, you know, just sexual stuff. Like always talking about dicks, you know, like, dude, you're always talking about that. Like, why are you always talking about that? Obviously, you're thinking about it because you're talking about it. Why are you constantly thinking about gay shit, man? And because you get old, you know, and then he would, you know, he would start talking about, like, you always talking about Jesus, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to hear the Jesus stuff. So, you know, it became a problem. And, you know, I handle problems really well. So, this dumbass, fucking stupid, man. Like, I've been rough, man. I've been addicted to drugs, you know? Like, I've done some stupid shit to get high, but this motherfucker was drinking hand sanitizer, bro. Like, and scented hand sanitizer at that. It wasn't just like alcohol, it was perfumed. Like, dude, dude, you got a problem, bro. You know, like, a real problem. And, you know, he was doing this all the time, you know, and I didn't say nothing, you know. I'm not gonna tell anybody, you know what I mean? Like, I tell on him, you know. That's not who I am. I'm not. I don't snitch. And I'm not a rat. There's a difference between a snitch and a rat, so you know. Big difference. But he was risking his life, man. He was putting himself in danger. And, like, you know, I've seen this happen. I've seen people die in prison because of it. I'm drinking that shit, man. I'm serious. I've seen people die because of it. And he was doing that kind of a lot. Continuously, you know, and one day he did too much, you know, and everybody could tell. You know, and the girl that was there with me, you know, that was kicking it with, you know, she cared about people, you know, she had feelings, you know, she was a good woman. And she asked me, she's like, yo, Jaybird, Retro, yo, what's up with Al, man? I'm like, you know how he is, man, you know, it's just Al, you know, he's good, you know, let him do his thing, you know. And she said, no, he's not, no, go look at him. I'm like, what are you talking about, man, you know, and I already knew. He's stumbling around, you know, and fucking, I already knew that, though, you know. I was already telling everybody around the kitchen, you know, like, check up on him, man, you know, like, if he gets caught, they're gonna come through this bitch, you know, and we already had shit stashed away, you know, food and, you know, other shit, you know, tobacco, you know, other stuff, you know, and I didn't smoke, you know, but, you know, and I didn't touch, you know, I didn't do any of this stuff, you know. But, you know, these people are in my cell. I gotta live with them, you know, so I'm not gonna tell on them, you know what I mean? You know, I also built a relationship with them, you know. I play cards with these people every night, play poker with these people every night. I hear them shower, I hear their farts, I know what dude's farts smell like every fucking night for 6 months, you know what I mean? Like, you get to know these people, you know, and you get to kind of care about them, you know, some of them more than others, you know, and some of them you don't care about at all. But, you know, she pulled on me, bro. She pulled on my shirt, and she was like, no, come here. What the fuck is wrong with him? Or what is he on? And I told her, please. You know, if I tell you, you know what's gonna happen. She looked at me. She's like, I don't care if I get fired. You better tell me what he is on. So, you know, I cared about her, you know, and I cared about him. You know, and fucking he's fucked up, dude, and I really fucked up, you know, and so I told her, and she didn't tell on him. She didn't tell on him. And what's crazy is the officer came in, you know, and that's why she was concerned, because it was on her call, you know, and, you know, she's got to be watching these people, you know, and if he's going into the, you know, place where the hand sanitizer is, it means she's not watching, you know, or carefully, you know, and she wanted to know where the hand sanitizer, like, what is he on? What is he getting it from? You know, what's, you know, and you can tell he's drunk, so, you know, it's obviously some type of alcohol, you know, and they already know. They've been through the situation. People have died in there before, you know, and this ain't their first rodeo, so they already know, like, where's the fucking hand sanitizer? Where did you get it from, you know? But that didn't happen right away. What was funny is the officer came in and seen the guy stumbling, kinda, you know, and was like, what the fuck? And then went to one of the other girls and was like, there's something wrong with one of the inmates over there stumbling. What's his name? You know, and, oops, my bad. I farted. But anyways, they were like, who is that, you know? Because the people, they had such, like, people, you know, revolving door, you know, they don't care about people. They don't remember everybody's name, you know, right away, you know. And the Airmark lady, you know, she was like, that's that person. It wasn't who it was. And it was kind of shitty because dude that didn't even have nothing to do with it got pulled to the side and was like, we want to breathalyze you. And they were like, what? He was like, why do you want to breathalyze me? What the fuck? Go ahead. And, like, I haven't been drinking. You guys are stupid. Like, this is fucking awesome. Like, you guys are retarded. Like, please, go ahead. I can't wait till you breathalyze me just to prove how fucking stupid you are. And they did. And they felt stupid, bro. And it was funny because they left it alone, you know what I mean? They were like, oh, the officer was like, I could have sworn this inmate was just stumbling all over, you know what I mean? And so, like, they were like, they let us work, you know, continue to work. And we put Al in the bathroom, man. And it was funny, you know, because other dude was mad as fuck and was like, whoever snitched on me, blah, 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 fucking, I'm gonna beat their ass, blah, blah, blah. And I'm here like, oh my God, here we go. You know, that's why I don't tell, you know, and I've already been through this, you know, I see it happen in prison all the time. You see it all the time. That's why you don't tell, because in prison it always comes back, you know, you're always gonna run into that person. You know, in prison it's small, the world is small. Same in the world, the world is small. It's not as big as you think. But anyways, I didn't really like this kid either, you know, I'm like, man, I'm gonna having to fight this kid, you know. But it's funny because I wanted Al gone. I was tired of him, man, and that's kind of another reason why I did it too. You know, I was so fucking sick of Al and his stupid gay shit and him always wanting to fight, and he would never fight me square up. And that's because, you know, I had other situations in there, you know, bunkies, you know, that were, you know, you're sleeping above me and fucking you're dangling your feet and you're putting your nasty ass snot rags, your fucking cum rags, right? And you're putting them under your mat, right? And they're falling down on me while I'm sleeping. I'm waking up and I got a fucking, a napkin, you know, tissue with fucking sperm in it. Your sperm and your fucking boogers, because you're wiping your boogers on the wall. And you can see it, you know, and I gotta live right there and you won't stop. And you won't leave. I ask you to leave. I ask you to stop. I'm handling. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. It's just that simple. I can't. You're fucking with my head. You know. It's not cool. You know, like I'm not doing weird shit to bother you. You know, I'm clean. Everything's organized. Everything. You know, I ask for your permission before I even come in your area, you know what I mean? I don't even come near you or talk to you unless you approach me. So people, you know, knew me, you know, that's why I earned that name Retrospect, man. Because of who I am and how I carry myself. But it's, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm wide awake. And this is continuous. It's this lifestyle, man, like this yoga and this energy, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I still gotta do stuff. Yeah, I put lights, red light is the best light to have at night to see. Because when it goes off, your eyes are still adjusted, to the darkness, and you're not blind. And it's really important for me on the boat at night, because I'm gonna be skipping at night when everybody's sleeping, and I gotta have all that stuff prepared, and I want to be able to put miles down at night, so yeah. It's funny, I don't even have my boxers on. It's kind of weird thinking about it, and I just looked at the camera and I was by the mirror. I'm gonna have to watch this video before I post it. Make sure you guys see that you don't see me naked. That would be weird. I don't think YouTube would like that very much. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get going. The video is almost an hour. I don't know. I've been looking at trails. I want to get a couple more trails in. I got a couple more weeks before I go. I want to leave this week, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be leaving until next week. And then dude messaged me, who I wanted to go with me, and like I thought, he did exactly what I thought he was gonna do. He sent me a message of all the reasons why he couldn't go. So I'm on my own. As always, which I already knew. I already knew it was gonna be like this, man. So it is. I've been trying to find people to do this stuff with me, and nobody's interested to do YouTube around here with me. I know there's other people around here that do it, but they're just not interested in the same things I'm interested in. They're interested in some of the things like music I'm interested in, and I do rap. I do make music. I do a lot of things. I sing. I'll be making music with Margarito, when we're on the boat and stuff. That was, with musical instruments and stuff, I want to learn how to play she wants to learn how to play the guitar. She plays the guitar, really well. And I don't at all. I play the keyboard really well, and I'm not talking about the musical keyboard. I'm a computer geek. I'm a tech wizard, I play that keyboard. So you guys will see a lot of that stuff, all the apps that I use, and that my life relies on. I rely on this stuff, every day, so does everyone else, all this banking stuff and traveling stuff, and I'm writing my own programs too, so, and this program is going to be free, and then you'll be able to pay for a subscription, so, and I'm excited for you guys to see it, because there's a lot of cool people, man, that you guys will be able to see and entertain you. The stuff they do is awesome. They're on my Facebook, actually. If you want to go see them, check them out. I'm not going to tell you who they are yet, because if you watch my Facebook, you'll figure it out. But yeah, go ahead, go check it out. True Social, it'll be coming out next year. I gotta go through it all, it's really buggy. I haven't had time to do much testing. I haven't, I got all this stuff going on, and, moving, and change of plans, I gotta, I had everything planned to do it here, and now that I'm at Margarita, and, I can sail now and have somebody with me that wants to go. It's, my whole business, everything has changed completely. It's the same business, it's the same thing, but I got, it's a different aspect of it, it's, my dreams added to it, so it made it better. So I'm gonna get going, I'm gonna thank God for everything, and, do stuff I gotta do, and until next time, peace out.